Monday, the last Monday of August. And I figure I better do this now because I removed my sun shield. And I think there still might be some sun around here in Ohio, but it's gotten cold, which is very peculiar for this time of year. But the weather has gotten funky uh, since I was young. When I was young, you had your seasons. They were mapped out pretty clearly. Everything is all, the lines are all blurred now. So you get crazy hot days. You get Christmases where it's 70 degrees. You get lows in the 40s in September. It's very weird. Uh, I don't know what to make of that. But anyways, yesterday it took a great act of will, but I did manage to do housework that my cardiac patient aid worker. I don't know what the idea is. Uh, Matching up a cardiac patient aid worker with a cardiac impaired uh, special needs person. It just, yeah, it just seems dumb to me. Sorry about that. It just seems dumb to me to even send her out to work. It's like, what can you do? You have a heart monitor on, and you don't even know what's wrong with you. But I kind of know her situation a bit. Like, she's gonna work. Uh, yeah, she told me that she was uh, skirting. I said, I know she don't have any health insurance. I'm like, how are you paying for this? And she said it was like a pro bono deal. And she had some weird explanation for it about how people ask her about it, and she just doesn't. She like skirts around it, and I didn't understand it, because it was during the time that I confronted her, and it was my cool down period. Where I was like, okay, I got some of my feelings out. Can't get all of my feelings out about being lied to and left in a filthy house and doing housework on a bad leg and all the anger and stuff because I do not want to kill this woman and get her all upset and freak her out and scare her. Uh, because she doesn't have any insurance. She has a really crazy husband. I mean, really crazy, like throwing microwaves against the wall, crazy, because the microwave talks to him, type shit. And she got no medical insurance. She's had like a bad tooth, like forever. She's finally got a dental appointment for that, but she's had like a rotten tooth like forever. So she's just a fucking mess. And it's like, man, you know what? Life has given her enough shit. I don't need to give her. She should have been doing that stuff. There was no reason for it other than her own laziness. And it was one thing I didn't mention is like when I asked her about it, I said, "So you guys are allowed to work now, huh?" And she was like, "I think." And I said, "Don't you know it's your job?" And she went into her. Whenever there's more words, there's more chance that it's a lie. But I think I explained her explanation poorly. Let me try this one more time because it's rather circuitous. Let me try this in it. I hate lies. They're so complicated. That's, the simplest lies are the best. Like, no, I did not do that. But, anyways, um, she said that she thought that my aid worker told me that she wasn't supposed to do any housework. I think I told it poorly and I included her supervisor in it. Um, but, last thing she needs to worry about is losing her job, whether she deserves it or not. Maybe the fact that, maybe later on when I find out that she's not going to die, you know, I'll revisit the topic. But anyways, the last video I made, I was rather incoherent and did not explain anything properly in that video. It's a freaking mess. It was a panoply of ums, uhs, and you knows. So, not mentally sharp. But anyways, I did some of the work that she was supposed to be doing yesterday until my legs couldn't take it no more. And surprisingly enough, uh, I think my legs felt better after I stopped working. Now, I did take two Neurontin, and then, I'd have to work, lay down, get up and work, and lay down. And, you know, somewhere in there I took two Neurontin, so that might have helped. I don't know. I haven't walked around yet today because it is morning. As you can see, dawn is breaking. Um, so I don't know. I'm just trying to get up the nerve to start my day and walk on my leg and see how it is and eat breakfast and all that. I feel like my belly button is an inner tube valve, and somebody pumped it up during the night. But my stomach's often like that. It's common benzo side effect type thing, I think. It's you feel like your stomach's all blowed up or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I got stuff to do, so I got to psych myself up to do it. And yeah, the people that did not pay for their stuff finally paid for their stuff. Uh, so that was cool. Uh, I have to manage my money very carefully until Thursday, however. I still have to manage my money very carefully until Thursday because I reinvested, could not help it. I reinvested some stuff because there's certain opportunities that just don't come around. You know, it's like this is an opportunity I really can't pass up. I don't like cutting myself that short. I'm gonna need money to get this, to get me through till just Thursday. So, you know, and this is all because of me counting on the stimulus check thing happening, which they said, you know, why the politician said something, so naturally you believe them. But, it's Mitch McConnell, who is the Republican leader in the Senate, said they were going to get something done by August 7th. Uh, both parties of the House, or both parties of Congress, agreed on a stimulus check. So, I'm spending money I don't have. So that's why I'm in the pickle I'm in now. And I guess Nancy Pelosi threw down the gauntlet and said, look, we're either doing a $2.2 trillion deal or we have nothing left to talk about. So there might not be any deal whatsoever. Now, that probably won't happen, but it's a possibility because they've reached an impasse where uh, the Republicans, they don't want to go above 1 trillion, and it's kind of a meet you in the middle thing, and they don't want to meet the Democrats in the middle. And what, so this stimulus thing might not happen at all. It might happen as late as October. You think I'm pretty sure it's going to happen before the elections because it only makes sense. They're just going to be pissing off their constituency. Because, not just lazy bums like me who are on disability and don't walk so good um, need a little bit extra money. Uh, there's working people out there, man, that are counting on unemployment. The unemployment rate is like still really high. The people that I know, like I said, only one of them is working steady. Uh, Not that I know that many people, but even the one person that told me I'm done getting laid off, they got laid off again. The one that was in Sin City. So it should happen. It's just not going to happen on what I would call an appropriate timeline to the situation. You know, um, it's very weird, like watching baseball with empty seats in it. I mean, COVID thing really, uh, just, I don't know, man. I don't know if we had an overreaction to it, an underreaction to it. I don't know, but it's just very weird watching a baseball game. And a baseball player got his 2000 hit with the Detroit Tigers named Miguel Cabrera, and he very humorously went out of the dugout and tipped his cap to an empty stadium. Was laughing while he did it. Um, it's just all very surreal. The fact that there's cardboard cutouts in the stands, excuse me, in place of people. They even had a joke when, in the game I was watching in St. Louis, where the St. Louis mascot was like using a vacuum cleaner on uh, the cutouts. It's all very weird. It's something that I would never even dreamed of. You know, this wasn't even in the stand. They didn't have nothing like this in the stand because that was a pandemic where the whole society collapsed. We're just like we're not collapsed. We're just like confused, and the economy is dicey. There's a lot of unemployed people, and uh, at some point, um, I don't know, man. I don't go into conspiracy things or anything like that, but at some point, it's just going to be another thing. Like the swine flu was just another thing. You think the swine flu like disappeared magically? If you remember that from 2010, it's just going to be another thing. You know, at some point, people got to go back to normal. And yes, it kills people that are in bad shape, like me, but lots of things kill people that are in bad shape, like me. So, anyways, so my plan today is to uh, continue to work on the living room that has been neglected for 6 months. I don't. I was trying to think when the last time the floor was swept in my living room because I don't live in my living room, and I want to put it at 5 months. Definitely hasn't been swept during the Corona nonsense, so I want to do that and get the living room situated. I already moved all that gardening stuff into another area of the apartment rather than in the hallway. I already rearranged stuff, picked up the coffee table and put it on the couch out there, so I can have a nice walking area, and I still have other things to do, like some cardboard boxes to get rid of. I gotta get rid of a box of books, and I gotta rearrange some bicycle parts I should just throw out, but somebody said they wanted them, and I said that I would give it to them. So the fact that I don't see or hear from this person, and they don't call me, and they don't pick the stuff up, I still like to try to keep my word when I can, so I can keep up my positive self-image. But at the same time, I'm in an apartment, and it's very hard to find places to put things. So it's broken down. There's like a wheel, there's like a battery kit, and there's a bike rack with baskets. And it's like, I don't know where to put this stuff. I need to get it out of the way because I don't need to be falling on anything. Any of those things that I just mentioned, I do not need to be falling on it. I can't do anything about the giant blue scooter. Uh, Maybe wheel it in front of around the side a little bit. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get that situated today. That's my goal for today, and I also have to uh, make 7 packages to ship tomorrow. Hopefully, I get an aid worker tomorrow. I don't care if it's the one with the heart condition, or lazy eye, or speech impediment, or any of the other Yeah, one with a very interesting speech impediment. That yeah, she's the one that told me the head smashing story. I don't care who it is. Well, I really don't want that one because she might be overwhelmed. And I just like write simple instructions, like just go to the post office, and I already know the routine. It's like when they ask this, say this, say this, say this. Just write it all down. But got to get that together. I don't like being dependent on people. I get those auctions together, and yeah, and I spent about, or I sold about $400 worth of stuff like over the weekend. But I had electronic checks. Monday is the day where all the electronic checks come in, and they might come in from like 5 days ago. You know, that's the way my bank works anyway. So Monday is the day. You cross your fingers, and then you call, and you're like, "How much money do I got in the bank?" And you're like, "Oh boy," or you're like, "Uh, yeah." So I looked up how long I had that TV. I've had that TV for like a month and a half. I'm experiencing time distortion here because it seems like I just got the thing. But I looked up when it was delivered through the email because Walmart tells you in your email when your shit's coming. And July 13th. I'm like, it's like a month and a half. Going on 2 months I had that thing. Like, where has my summer gone? What have I been doing? Uh, I don't know, man. I think maybe the drugs distort time. And I think it's kind of like being in your own bubble, you know, being a bubble boy in this apartment, not having any friends, not going anywhere. Uh, yeah, not really engaged in the world in any way. It's like you're in a separate place outside of time. I think that's why, you know, because they say time flies when you're having fun. I'm definitely not having fun. So, except for when I'm on here, I always try to have fun. I'm definitely not having fun when you're not seeing me. And so that isn't why time is flying. Time is flying probably because Neurontin and Valium, which is the two main mind altering substances that I take. And that is probably why. Now, the other thing that I have to do is I got my new doctor appointment coming up on the 8th, so I have to schedule transportation 5 days ahead of time. So I got to make that call today or tomorrow, depending upon how the day goes. And I have to eat. And yeah, I don't really, not a big fan of eating anymore now that all my teeth left me. I should start wearing the dentures or try to like desensitize my gums, but I don't know, man. It's not a matter of laziness. It's just like I don't know. I can't tell you why I don't wear them because there's like long periods of time where I don't eat, where I could be wearing them. I'm not chewing with those things on. Like I said, I'll do this, kind of get desensitized my gums, but I already tried eating with them, and yeah, okay, I'm not a masochist, and yeah, I need a life coach. That's why it's another thing. Like when you're alone and you're having a rough time, and you're dealing with like drug dependence and all that, and you're not thinking clearly. You kind of have a don't give a fuck kind of attitude about things. That's why I was like, oh, you're gonna pull 5 teeth today? Just do it. My teeth are bad investments anyway. And now, boy, I'm still stuck in this place. And that money for my teeth, of course, as I've said before, was supposed to go to me moving. And boy, do I miss those 2 teeth right now. Instead of $2,000, I would pay $3,000 to get them 2 teeth back. It's just very annoying. So I don't, I've never been a big fan of eating anyway. So I prefer eating to not eating. I don't like being hungry. Don't get me wrong, and I don't like I like some foods better than other foods, but I would be happy as hell if I never had to eat again. I've never been a big fan of eating, so if I didn't have to eat, cool. Um, yeah, just goes to show you how inactive I am because I managed to be fat. My metabolism is so slow because of my leg and not being able to move around. I had these shorts that I could fit into last summer, I think, when I bought them, and I can still get in them. But it was just such a struggle to get in them, and they're not stretchy. They're just like weird green shorts, and that's what I live in. And so I'm like, you know what? This is stupid. I'm just tired of, you know. Yeah, it was a workout. It's a good upper body work. When it's a good upper body workout, putting on pants or shorts. It's just time to retire. Said pants or shorts. So uh, yeah, yeah, moving around. Though it's painful, I'm not really motivated to do it and stuff. It seemed like I was in less pain after I moved around. Now, why that would be, I don't know. Maybe it was a fluke. I'm gonna try it again and see how it goes. Now, if I was sitting in a chair, I could be like looking you in the eye all the time, but I don't expose a lot of eye anyway. You know, I got those Chinese eyes. I can't help it. Um, yeah, I can do the big eyed thing for effect, but mostly I keep my eyes half lidded. So much time outside with bugs flying in my eyes has taught me to do that. I spent a lot of time on a bicycle too, and yeah, if you're not wearing glasses, you don't want to expose a lot of eye. You get hit in the eye with bugs and stuff. So you always want to wear some kind of glasses on a bicycle. Just like on a motorcycle, except for at a slower speed, man, you get hit with things in the eye. It's not good. So like, yeah, I've eaten a few. I almost wiped out eating a bug too. You know, the bug didn't taste like a whole lot, man, because it just went straight down. It didn't even go down the wrong pipe or anything, man. But it freaked me out so bad, and I was carrying so much stuff on the bike when I was going fishing that I don't know how I didn't wipe out, but I was like, "There's my protein." You know, I don't have. I don't know what I just ate, but I don't have to. Yeah, I can hold off on the sandwich I brought with me for a while. Um, I think I mentioned this before that I caught a yellow jacket in my teeth once and spit it out and didn't get stung. And I was like, holy crap. It's a good thing I'm not a mouth breather or that I was in good enough shape because you're a mouth breather when you're huffing and puffing on a bicycle. But I was in good shape back then, so I wasn't a mouth breather on a bicycle unless I was pumping up a hill. And yeah, caught a yellow jacket in my lips in the front of my teeth and spit it out and then stopped my bicycle and said, did that just happen? What if that? I thought about all the horrible things that would have happened. Like if it would have went inside my mouth and stung me on the tongue or the back of the throat or something. I couldn't imagine the pain of that. I never pretended to be no tough guy. And I remember also that this damned idiot, uh, had rebar like hanging out of the back of his truck, and it was at head level. And whenever you got stuff hanging out of the back of a truck like that, you have to put some kind of reflective tape or something on it. This guy put nothing on it, and I almost got decapitated because I went flying. I remember it was in front of the BJ's Loans pawn shop, and not it was a horrible pawn shop. It was on Duber Avenue. Guy was parked in front of it. It was dark outside. I was coming home from somewhere, and I was flying, and this thing was just coming at me like right here, and I had good reflexes, and I ducked. It went over my head. I'm not going to embellish and say I felt it skim my hair or anything like that, but I seen it and I ducked, and it would have smashed, yeah, it would have smashed my face up, maybe killed me, you know. I didn't go back and there wasn't nobody to yell at about it. I didn't go back and scratch up the guy's truck because that would have been pointless because it was already a mess. He had a bunch of scrap iron and crap in the back of it, and not, you know, it just goes to show you how thoughtless people are about other people to do something like that because, yeah, that's a near miss I will never forget. That's right up there with like almost getting hit by a cement truck. But that was my own stupidity, the cement truck. But the other thing, that thing there, that was totally not my fault. I don't know what kind of violation that is, but I talked to my cop friend about it. And he's like, anytime you got a situation like that, you have to hang up something reflective off of anything hanging out sideways off of a truck like that. Um, yeah, but I have I had another bicycle riding story since I rode bicycles so much. I don't remember what it was now. There's I don't know. It flew away on benzo wings. Ah, and like I've said, man, I used to be able to back burner thoughts, but now I can't find the stove. Um, yeah. Well, it's tough being like low energy all the time too, man. It's like I'm always like low energy. I don't do that on purpose, you know. That's why these are good sleeping pills for people, I guess. I don't do that low energy stuff on purpose, but I was watching a guy and he was in prison. He was he was an ex-convict that was trying to speak to like people that are like on the in gangs or like trying to convince them that jail's not a good idea, basically. He sat there very quietly and didn't move at all. And this other guy was introducing them and like, here's a friend of mine. And this guy had more energy and put more energy into that than any video. All my videos wrapped up together. And it's like, where's this guy getting all this damn energy? Is he snorting coke? I mean, what? He's describing like being in prison for so long and like, where do people, yeah, this isn't just another manic Monday to me. It's like I can remember like having mild manic periods when I was young, where I was energetic and stuff. And so, man, you can get a lot done when you're in a manic type phase. Because I was diagnosed as a manic depressive incorrectly, but yeah, I would have phases where I'd have like shitloads of energy when I was in my 20s, and don't happen no more. I don't know if it's just what it is, if it's the benzo use. That's probably what happened is uh, the bad knee thing just changed. Well, even before my knee went bad, I started to become less and less active around the time of my parents' death because of difficult family history and unresolved things, and just the way it all went down. Um, I did. I got inactive. I mean, I did a lot of marijuana smoking, getting high, laying around, choking a chicken, and basically that started like 2014, 2015. I was in a weakened state, like, because my mom had dementia for like a few years before that, and had issues with my father where I didn't speak to my father for 13 years. So I just kind of like, I was made vulnerable and stupid. And that's when benzos came knocking at my door. Or rather, somebody like, here, try this pill. And I'm like, okay. And, yeah, don't ever take anything without researching it, no matter who gives it to you. If Jonas Salk gave it to you, if the greatest doctor in the world gives it to you, research it, find out what it is. Maybe even hear from other people who have taken it and do none of that. And here I am, being lazy. But a lot of that's the knee, I think. Like I was starting to say, is like I think that affected my whole metabolism and everything. I started out being lazy, and then the knee thing happened. You know, the laziness does not make a Baker cyst happen. They don't know what makes Baker cysts happen. Sometimes it can be injury related. So I thought that because when I was riding a bicycle and my legs were getting worse and I was getting worse at it, the pedal would come around and whack me really hard in the calf, like sometimes as many times as 4 times on a single bicycle trip. One time I actually had to stop, because my leg was like numb from getting whacked. So I thought maybe that's why I, developed the Baker cyst, because it happens from injury, but it can happen for other reasons too that they don't understand. But the whole point of that is like, you know, your metabolism is centered on your behavior, and if your behavior involves a lot of laying around in pain because your leg is fucked up, you're gonna have a slow metabolism. You're gonna be low energy. You're gonna have to like psych yourself up to do simple things, not only because of the pain, just because you don't want to do anything. And yeah, but I can still run my mouth. I just not in a high energy kind of way. Even if I was sitting up, even with a cup of coffee in me, there's not a lot of energy here. Um, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, and that was cool. It's like I actually got something done yesterday. My cat tricked me last night. I thought he was outside. He was just hiding somewhere because he does that. And so I was greeted by him in the morning. I'm trying to find a time when he's not in that big box so I can cut that box up and throw it out the window. Um, but he's got this gigantic box that his 30-pound bag of cat food came in that he loves, that's taking up space. And it's like every time I go to cut the box up, he's laying in it. And it's like he's old and therefore I indulge him, you know. I put up with him. It's like, okay, you like the box, you can stay in the damn box, but I'm gonna catch him outside that box one of these times, and I should just flip it upside down. Every check the box and just flip it upside down. Therefore, it will be useless to him. And it's cool for him because like it's so big that half of it he can like jump up out of the box, and it actually supports his weight. The one flaps open and the other flaps down, and it'll actually support his weight, so he can jump up on the box and sit on it. You know, and get in and out of the box that way. So he loves that freaking box. Um, but it's got to go. And yeah, but he tricked me. So I woke up and he, uh, my brother was like, whose dog died recently. Is like he said he just wanted something to greet him when he came down in the morning from upstairs. I'm the opposite, man. Just leave me the fuck alone when I wake up in the morning. I feel like hell. I'm in the middle of a nightmarish life. I'm in the late phases of a nightmarish life. It's like I don't want nothing. I don't want no cat meowing at me. I don't want to have to feed no cat or deal with no cat. So but he wasn't in his box last night. I didn't flip it over, and I was just closing up shop. And who wants to leave their window open all night? Uh, you, you can't do that shit. And this isn't the worst neighborhood, but yeah, you can't do that shit. You got the window open and you got the screen open about that much, so a cat can come in and out. But all that means is like anybody can just pull up your window and come in your window and steal your shit. So, I'd be in here, I wouldn't hear nothing, because that's the whole purpose of me staying in here, so I don't hear nothing because of Stampy. And it's like my life has gotten very weird where I'm talking about hiding in a room, closing windows, and hiding from somebody that I don't ever see, anyways. I'm actually hiding from someone I never see. Yeah, craziness. Um, but yeah, if you don't, he's old, so he's got old man privileges. If you don't want to go outside, you don't have to go outside. I'm not looking forward to being stuck inside with him all winter, cleaning the litter boxes, and dealing with, his old age when I don't have the nerves to do anything. It's just like everything gets on my nerves. So that's why I wanted to. It's one of the main reasons why I just wanted my life to change, and I wanted to help my brother out. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to move in with my brother, because he's got a perfect cat neighborhood. You could just make him an outside cat, and he has a garage you could crash in, and you could set things up for him. And you know, but he has to have me. So my idea was, of course, to live at my brother's house, fix up my brother's house, which he still doesn't have any hot water, and no shower. I assume he's still getting washed up by a bucket. Uh, but anyways, improve his life. Uh, get the cat acclimated to that neighborhood. Pay my brother like a monthly fee of $100 to take care of my cat, and move. Then I'm not moving with a cat. It's easier to find a place. That was my plan. My ultimate plan, since he didn't go for that, and he still hasn't changed his cable company. Like I told my psychiatric nurse, the man has a codependent relationship with his cable company. So I wasn't surprised that he doesn't want to improve his life and have somebody who is comparatively rich. At the time, I had like $5,000 to $6,000, uh, and had come into his house and like fix up his house. And it's his brother, and we're both. Well, he's not. He's going to be around for a while, barring any unforeseen things. But I'm not. So it'd be like hang out there for 3 months. Be the last contact we have with each other, probably in this life. Um, so it seemed like it made sense at the time, but I went with Plan B, which is spend all my money on sports cards, live in this hellhole, hide in this room from Stampy, deal with my old sick cat, and Stampy. And the pitter patter of little feet. And I invest all my money in cards and spend a bunch of time on eBay and sit around and not get outside. I was looking forward to getting outside because he is in the suburbs and he has a backyard. So I was really looking forward to spending the summer outside and stuff. Though I don't have any hard feelings I have over that are dissipated. Don't have any hard feelings over that anymore. I don't even think about it when I talk to him. I'm over it. I expressed the fact that it's his house. He can do what he wants, but I wish he would have just said no from the beginning. And instead of, especially because like I was packing stuff up with a bad leg, and then I had boxes of stuff packed up, and then like now I gotta unpack the stuff. So yeah, a situation developing where like I don't want to talk to this other family member about an important matter because I'm terrified of my family. So, but I have to do it at some point, yeah, it involves money. Um, I don't know, man. I just feel like you can't help people. You know what I mean? You can't help them. Uh, you gotta let them live their lives. You help them with a little emotional support, but you can't help them if they want to be miserable. They're gonna be miserable. They're gonna find a way to make themselves miserable. You know, and maybe that's what they like. Maybe that's what they're used to. It's like, oh, uh, let's see. I will try to do this anonymously, but I know very few people, so probably most of y'all that are regulars here can read between the lines. But I know someone that grew up in utter clutter. Like, I didn't mean to make a stupid rhyme there, but like hoarder type, crazy, like snow shovel, pushing stuff out of the way type clutter. Well, they've always lived that way because that's the way that they're comfortable with, and they've passed that down generationally because the other person was raised and that kind of stuff. So they just like having a bunch of junk laying around. They like everything being a mess, without floor space. So some people are just comfortable being miserable, as oxymoronic as that sounds. And yeah, they don't like change. It can be changed for the better, and they don't like change. Like, I don't want no hot water, showers, and shit like that. You know, they don't like change because they're afraid. They're afraid of change to the point where you'd rather have your old comfortable misery than have things change. You know, and it's a control freak kind of thing too. Because that if to embrace change, you have to experience a loss of control. Like when I go to the doctor, it's going to be a loss of control because they're going to be like, take your clothes off, put on a gown, you're going to poke at my body. I'm not going to know what's going to happen or what they're going to do or what the doctor's going to be like. It's got to happen though. I can't be like my cousin or my brother or other people that I know and just not go to the doctor because I got to have a doctor. Uh, yeah, I mean, at some point I'm going to need one, but I need one because of my knee for referrals, and maybe they can actually do something with my knee and help me out. Because I am very willing to embrace change in that area. Like being afraid of getting out of bed and walking. Yeah, that is not like a comfortable amount of clutter in my room. That is something like I'm willing to roll the dice, man, on that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get my stress level down. If I can't get my stress level down before my doctor appointment, because I got a real bad history with doctors, and not just the fact that I tend to have doctors who get murdered or are accused of sex crimes or are just bad doctors. I was talking about this one doctor. Don't you love these digressions? I mean, I am Mr. Digression. Talk about talking to the big lazy aid worker about this one doctor I had that was notorious bill patter, even among the medical community. And they're like the blue wall, man. Like cops don't talk bad about cops. They're like the blue shield wall. Blue Cross Blue Shield. They don't usually talk bad about each other, but uh, I mentioned this guy's name, and he goes, "Oh yeah, man, that guy's he just like order tests for no reason, just send you places and send you various places." Now you probably heard this before, and my voice is fading, but it's so ridiculous. I'm going to repeat it just in case somebody hasn't heard it before, and I will make it short. I have this second ankle on my foot. Now, I find this alarming that I have a second ankle on my foot. I'm like, this could be something serious. I should get this checked out. I go to my bill padding uh, little midget of a doctor, and he's like, I'm going to send you to an orthopedist. And it didn't ring any bell for me at the time, but it's like orthopedist, you know. It's like, don't look like a bone thing to me. Uh, but it didn't ring any particular bell at the time. Like now, I'd be like, "What? Are you serious?" And so I'm riding a bike to go everywhere. I like to be independent. You know, I can pedal a bicycle at this point all over the damn place. So I actually, on my foot, that's I'm gonna get checked out. Pedal a bicycle. I go to this place. I knock on the door. I walk in. I see the doctor, and the doctor immediately says, "What are you doing here?" He don't say hello. He don't say nothing. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What's the matter? Don't I have an appointment?" He goes, "Yeah, you have an appointment, but you have a bump on your foot. I'm an arm and shoulder orthopedist." And I'm like, "My doctor must be an idiot then, huh?" And he just started laughing. He didn't say nothing bad about the doctor. He just started laughing. Then he looks at the actual thing on my foot, and he called it a ganglionic cyst. He said, "I've seen these like a million times." I'm like, he's like, "I have no idea why your primary caregiver didn't do this, but I can drain it for you if you want me to." So he just took a big syringe, numbed it up a little bit, stuck it in there, drained the fluid out of it, put a band-aid on it, and I rode home on a bicycle. Now, what you don't know, or you may know about me, is I have a lot of anxiety, a lot, so that's a big deal. I spend like 3 days sweating the appointment, not knowing what's wrong with my foot, that it's just a simple garden variety nothing. Basically, a big pimple on my foot. And so I'm sweating this out, and then got the night before the appointment, having trouble sleeping. Then I got to pedal all to get this thing done. And the guy could have done it in his office. I really wanted to beat him up. But I was like, nope, I'm never going to see that guy again. And the guy would also do things like I knew I had bronchitis. He knew I had bronchitis. And he pauses and he's like, we better get some x rays for this. And the reason was he had x ray equipment installed in his office and he had to pay for it. I just rolled with it. I didn't even say nothing. I went and had the x rays. I figured, like, I've had a million x rays. What's another x ray? What do I care? He wants to soak uh, the Medicaid or Medicare or whatever I was on at the time, whatever insurance I had at the time. What do I care? I don't care. Yeah, it's like just don't even want to fight about it. I didn't understand it at the time. I just rolled with it. But he was like, he wanted to take X-rays. How in the hell do you take X-rays of uh, bronchitis? It's like I got a cold. It's in my chest. I'm coughing up phlegm and wheezing and stuff. I've had bronchitis like twice before. We both know what it is. We use the word bronchitis because I just want to make sure and get some sinus X-rays. And I'm like, how's an infection? I'm thinking, how's an infection going to show up on an X-ray? Don't you need like a microscope for that kind of thing? So this is the kind of thing that I'm dealing with as far as doctors, and so that's why I'm not cool with going to see the doctor, and I'm not cool like having to explain like everything that's wrong with me, and the CRPS complicates everything, and has been very bad lately. Um, but I'll take as much dope as I need to get in there. If my nerves are fried, if I can't bring my stress level down, because my stress level is very high. And yeah, with that, think I'm going to get my day started because the sun is starting to come in a little bit, and I need to put some food in my belly. I got up very early, like 3:30 in the morning. So It is 8ish, so it's high time I figure out what I'm going to do with my day. And it's got to start out with some food, I suppose. And, hmm, I have to decide. It's boring. I got a boring life. I try to make it interesting and entertaining. I have a much more interesting past, and there's much more interesting things that I can't talk about because I just can't talk about everything. But I already spelled out what today is going to be for me. I'm just going to clean up the living room, sweep it, and see if my sweeper can survive the Edian stables. And at some point, I might even do my scrub my toilet out because it is just the bathroom is so disgusting. It's like not getting any help from this aid agency. I could call the aid agency and say like, look, I need a non-damaged health worker. Like I need somebody to do some housework, but I don't like anybody that works for the agency. The only person I liked that worked for him um, was somebody that had back surgery and then just found a job that paid more and never came back. That was the only aid worker that I liked. I don't like any of them. So, I don't like to deal with any of them. Dragon Breath, Speech Impediment Girl, Lazy Eye, 300 Pounder, or whatever their names are. You know, I don't, I don't want to deal with them. You know, and there's one that's a lady that was going bald. So you got Baldy, you got the 300 Pounder, you got Lazy Eye, Dragon Breath, and Speech Impediment or cartoon character voice, whichever one you want to call her. Um, and it's quite a cast of characters they got there working there. Uh, so I just might start just doing things myself. The hell with it. Just like fight through the pain. It's like, and then just use the agency to like run around, basically as like a taxi service without me in the taxi. Like, take these things to the post office and mail them for me. I need you to buy this food. I need you to pick up this money at the bank. That kind of thing. And just, I'll do the housework, man. The hell with it. And let the chips fall where they may. And then, like yesterday, I get wobbly. I get tired. It's time to call it a day and punch that clock. Uh, yeah. Oh, boy. So, yeah, I don't know how y'all are doing. Uh, I'm like, it's just like a force of will for me to do anything. So, yesterday was like really, um, I was really proud of myself, as stupid as that sounds. Like, hey, I got up and I actually did stuff, man. I laid back down after 15 minutes, but I got up and did stuff again for another 15 minutes. And then I laid back down. And then I got up again and I did stuff. So it's like, yeah, I got started at least. It's a big deal. Getting started, they always say, is the hardest thing. Uh, yeah, maybe that's true. I don't know. I do know that my voice is going. And yeah, it's another week, the beginning of another week. I don't know how you feel about it, but uh, I try to find as much amusement as possible in this life and enjoy what I can. But yeah, it all becomes very tiresome and very difficult, and it's very hard to do stuff alone, as many of you are alone. I know this. Um, it's just harder alone. I didn't, when you're older, or like when you got problems, when you got physical problems. Like when I was alone and I was young and I could like I don't know, literally pick up a 70 or 80 pound stump on my shoulder and carry it 6 blocks and steal it and like say this will make the perfect footstool. Um, yeah, that led me to a story that I'll save for another time. Somehow I ended up, I'll just briefly outline it, but somehow I ended up with like four girls that were much younger than me in my apartment. And I remember them nervously, like, they're fascinated by the fact that I had a stump in my house. And I tried to explain to them. They thought it was cool. But one of them was actually only 15 years old. And she was laying on my couch. And she was like, man, this couch is comfortable. I could sleep all night on this couch. And I'm like, if you fall asleep on that couch, I'm going to push it out on my porch because you're 15 years old. And then she sat like pulled upright, like I was serious. You know? But anyways, yeah, that wasn't one of my prouder moments, by the way. I mean, I don't know how old I was, but I was 30-ish, either some side of 30 or not. But there was like, it's like I met this one 22-year-old, and her friends were all youngish, and there was like a 15-year-old girl, and then there was two other girls there besides her, and it's like I had this weed, I just wanted to get rid of it. It was so powerful. It's like I just wanted to get rid of it. So, that girl clearly been around the block a million times. These were like, okay, let's just say these weren't prim and proper type girls. So, it made me feel bad. But, I ended up giving weed to like a 15-year-old. Not cool. That was not cool. A stump led me to that story. Or actually just remembering um, being able to carry a stump 6 blocks, which had something to do with something else, I'm sure. But this is just my usual routine of like, putting on. I'm just saying it's. I remember that I was saying it was harder to do stuff when you're alone and when you're not able to carry a stump 6 blocks and have it in your house so an underage girl can pick the bark off of it. And I just let her pick the bark off it. I'm like, doesn't really matter. It's still going to function with bark or without bark. But she was like picking the bark off of it. But yeah, it's hard to be alone. It's hard to be old. It's hard to be sick. It's hard without another person there to help motivate you to get you going and have somebody to talk to. And I like to do things for other people, so that used to help me when I would live with people. Like I would like, oh, I would make coffee in the morning for people, or cook for people, or do stuff for people. I just like to do that kind of stuff. And with nobody there, it's just me doing for me. It's just not quite the same because I am an ungrateful motherfucker. But doing stuff for me is not the same. Like, so you give somebody, cook them a nice plate of food, and they're like, "Oh, thank you, this is pretty good." I cook myself a plate of food. I'm not like, "Oh, thank you, Steve, this is delicious." I didn't like drink my coffee this morning and wasn't like, "Wow, this coffee doesn't taste like buffalo piss this morning. You did a good job on this coffee." You get the picture, man. Being alone's a tough gig. Uh, it's just harder when you got a bad leg, or you got health problems, or you're old, or you feel old. Um, Finding the motivation to do things and to keep going, and you know, somebody like me, it's like I had a life. I, it's enough, you know. It's enough. But I have people, and I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. Will they fix my leg? Will I ever find happiness? Will I ever meet the right woman? Tune in to next week for As the Steve Turns. But it'll most likely just be his stomach turning. I seem to have a lot of stomach problems these days. But yeah, I think that was the intro to As the World Turns, like a soap opera from back in the day. I don't know. I actually got into a soap opera when I was like 18 years old and stuck in a hospital bed after having spinal reconstruction. I think it was General Hospital. I was actually watching a soap opera, man. That is wrong. An 18-year-old man watching a soap opera. just seems to be something very wrong about that. But yeah, my TV choices were limited. Um, I really don't want to get this day started, and like I said, man, it's just rough. It's the whole self motivation, and yeah, it's just rough. That's one thing about like running out of money. It's like, yeah, that's a motivating factor. When you want to keep your balance up and avoid that dreaded overdraft fee type of thing. Yeah, that's what got me finally selling my cards. And I'm like, ooh, I really don't like this. But yeah, it seems to work. I found out that the fees are fairly exorbitant. But yeah, that'll get you off your ass. Not having any money, uh, yeah, getting hungry enough, that'll get you off your ass and get you moving. Being in enough pain to where you're like, you know, I can't stand laying here. Maybe if I move around, the pain will get better. Um, but yeah, yeah, life would be easier if I had friends, people to come and see me, or people I could count on, or people that were helpful and did the things that they said they were going to do. Um, like I said, I got the one guy, but he's very busy, and he's dealing with his mother, who's I don't know how much longer she's got. They're dealing, I'm not going to burden him with my existence. Um, but yeah, so I guess talking on here kind of helps me. Give, I give lousy pep talks to myself though, man. My leg hurts. I don't want to do anything. I make shitty coffee. I don't like cooking for myself, and I'm alone. I don't have any friends. I just seem to be naming off all this. Why my life is shit. How is that helpful? How is that going to get me out of bed and get me moving? It's like being very specific about how my life is just a horror show. And like, that's going to get you to continue living and trying and doing and being. I mean, I don't really have a lot of bright sides to look on. Look at the bright side. Your leg hurts like a motherfucker, but you can still walk on it. You fall down a lot, but you don't. You seem to be pretty lucky you haven't cracked your skull yet. Uh, yeah, you lost all your hair, and you're missing several bones out of your body, but you still can see. It always cracks me up, like when people are like, "Well, things could be worse." Things can always be worse. I mean, a psychologist said that to me once. It's like, well, things could be worse. And I'm like, things could always be worse. I could have slid down a razor blade banister and landed in a vat of lemon juice. You know, that would be worse. Uh, and he's just looked at me like, you really do belong here. You really do need to talk to somebody. But yeah, I never liked that expression, like things could be worse, because I've experienced a lot of bad, horrible things, that go beyond human imagination. For instance, having a screw drilled in your head while you're conscience, while you're conscious. Uh, yeah, so I have no idea what function this serves, other than I like words, I like to talk. Uh, I wish I had uh, more teeth to talk more clearly with, and had less trouble enunciating and pronouncing my words, but I do enjoy words. As far as pep talks, these are horrible, horrible, horrible pep talks. Uh, yeah, even like going into like the doctor visit, I have to go to a new doctor, and then like going into what that's like. I didn't go into to it completely for what it's like for me to go to a doctor with a weird disease nobody ever heard of, and then they want to like feel all over you and like, can you move your feet this way and you move your foot that way? And what's this on? What's that? I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that kind of thing, but usually when the first time you go to a doctor, now the accused rapist guy, I don't remember him doing a physical examination, but usually it used to be that way. When the first time you see your doctor, he wants to look at you, you know, like leave your underwear on. They usually tell you, but I want to see everything else. I may need to see that too, and they ask you everything. It's like I don't even. I shouldn't even be thinking about that. Just like just it's not gonna happen for a while, so don't worry about it now. It's the 31st. That's the 8th. 9 days. Worry about what's in front of you, what you have to do today, and get through today and having a day where you can look back and say, hey, I got some stuff done. The stuff that I needed to get done today, I got done, and try to wring whatever little bit of enjoyment you can out of the day. No matter how dry that towel is, wring that fucker. And the dog's been very quiet. It's funny how you like don't notice things like that. See, that's a positive. That dog used to bark all the damn time. I started to bark a couple of times. It's been very quiet lately. So that's a positive thing, right? Now the sun's shining in, and that means it's time for me. I'm still behind here, behind all the. Isn't that cool, that prismatic effect of the light? You even get like a little rainbow. See, I got like a rainbow over top of me. There's no pot of gold. Because, man, I got like $100 in the bank right now. So, yeah, no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. And as far as this life, there ain't no pot of gold at the end of this life either. But I can still enjoy the rainbow. Still, like I said, man, life can still be interesting even if it's not fun. You can still find ways to be like amused by it. You can even find like your own bad luck, misfortune, interesting. You know, you can find like stories, for instance, like getting sprayed by insecticide. Just the absurdity of that. Like, you get rid of all those household pests. You seem to be the main problem around here, so we're gonna spray you too. You know, so yeah, I guess that's about it. Try to enjoy the play of lights. Enjoy the show, man. Don't worry about the ending. Try to get engrossed in the movie. And don't look too far ahead. Yeah. See, that's kind of a pep talk. That's better than the other stuff. You know, it's not really a pep talk. It's just like a decent philosophy to go by. Yeah. Just look. Oh, my rainbow disappeared. It was only, see, as brief and as fleeting as a flash of light through those trees. I had a rainbow there for a minute, and now it's gone, just like a real rainbow. That was just created by my very dirty window. That's probably why it was like all separated and stuff. It's like the light that was able to get through the dirt. Okay, I don't want to. It's the same story. I don't want to leave because yeah, I don't enjoy uh, what I have to do, but still have to do it, and still have to get moving. Maybe at some point, um, this moving around stuff will get easier, I'm not gonna be in less pain. That's like that's the key word to my life is maybe. It's like hey, it's not set in stone. That I mean, I know it's gonna end badly, but it doesn't have to end. It does. It'll end badly, but it doesn't have to be as bad as it is now. Always, because maybe they can do something with my knee. Maybe something interesting will happen, and maybe I'll have some. Uh, I don't know what's that thing called? Luck. Yeah, couldn't think of it for a while. Out of sight, out of mind.